Is Jean Grey actually coming to Marvel Rivals in Season 3, or is this going to be another Blade situation? YouTube, what's going on, man? It's Father Dark, and I'm here today with a video talking about a lot of the leaks and things that are potentially going to be happening in Season 3. Now, you can take out all of this with a grain of salt because obviously none of it has been confirmed yet, or it wouldn't be a leaks video. It would just be, this is what's going to be happening video. But nonetheless, though, let's go ahead and get into it. So, a couple weeks back, we had a lore entry that stated that Adam Warlock had sensed the reemergence of Knull. Now, for anyone that doesn't know who Knull is, he's basically like the god of the symbiotes. There's a whole entire map that's dedicated to him. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but his name is in it. And it's the one, obviously, that has all the symbiote goo everywhere and stuff like that. Nonetheless, though, so with him being talked about coming back, they also said in the lore somewhere that they were going to have to find someone of their own, which is also going to have to be an equivalent primal force that could defeat him. And a lot of people are saying that that's hinting at Jean Grey coming to the game. Now, the reason why this isn't that far-fetched or crazy is, for one, there's a lot of like just hints and stuff like that at Jean Grey in the game, a lot of little Easter eggs and stuff like that, especially in the lore for Jean Grey. And she was leaked a while back. Now, the thing is that a lot of times these leaks, it's just people who are for content just kind of making up a lot of stuff. But a lot of times this stuff does kind of end up panning out. And I think the reason why is because the devs already probably have like maybe anywhere from 7 to 12 characters that are maybe kind of like ready to go, or maybe not as like fine-tuned and stuff, but they pretty much have them fleshed out. Maybe the designs and all that stuff are there. They just need a little bit of tweaking to kind of make them like actually work in the game or something. So it's not crazy when people sit back and they say, oh, well, there's this character coming out. And I'll give you an example. Emma Frost was talked about well before she came out, and people were leaking that she would have 2 different types of ability, like move sets and abilities, one being like her normal form and the other one being her diamond form. And the same thing has happened with Jean Grey as well. People also had released move sets for her, which I had done a video on before, and we don't know if those are true or not, but they were also saying that she would have multiple move sets as well, kind of like Emma Frost and Cloak and Dagger, where she would have one that would be like her telekinetic form, and then she would have one that would be the Phoenix form, which would have to do with like revival and different things like that, right? So it's not that far-fetched that Jean Grey is coming out. Now, another thing, too, about Jean Grey coming out that I do think is interesting is that we have a new Moon Knight skin that just got, not teased, which is pretty much teased. That we know that it's coming out, I think, next week or whatever. And this skin is actually just called like Agent of Phoenix or something like that, right? And he actually just looks like he's Moon Knight, but with the Phoenix Force. Now, the thing about this is that this isn't just some random skin that they just made up. This is actually from like a one-off type comic book deal where Moon Knight actually got the Phoenix Force for a while, and you know, he did whatever he did with it. But the whole point of that is that basically that's not, like I said, something that's crazy or just made up or whatever. That actually is from a comic book. And I would think that it's really weird that they have all these teases for Jean Grey and stuff, and that they have a whole entire Moon Knight skin coming out where he actually has the Phoenix Force without bringing out Jean Grey next season. Now, is she going to come out in the first part of the season or the second part of the season? Obviously, about that, I wouldn't know. But the only thing that would make me think that she would come out sooner than later is the fact that this second half of Marvel Rivals season has probably been like one of its lowest as far as player counts and player retention and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of you that feel like, oh, well, I click on a match and I find people right away. Okay, you're probably playing with the same couple of handfuls of people. Not saying that there's literally that few people, but there are way far in between than there have been and stuff, especially if you look at like the numbers for when the Fantastic Four came out and when Emma Frost came out. Ultron, I think the problem with that is that he was really overhyped, and then when he actually released, it just wasn't enough to make people care. And like I said, I know there's a lot of you out there who are you're diehard Ultron fans and you're just trying to kind of make it work, but I think that we could get a lot of better characters in here and a lot of better choices. Not saying that Ultron is a bad character, just that I think his kit leaves, you know, some things to be desired. And like I said, the devs, in my opinion, are not stupid. They know how to read the room, and I'm pretty sure that they're looking at their own numbers and analytics and stuff like that, and they're kind of going, hey, we really got to get like a household name in here, somebody who's super popular, and really, you know, make it work to be able to get a lot of the player base back. So there's that. The next thing that I want to talk about is actually going back to Knull. Now, with Knull being the main villain of season 3, I'm assuming that we're gonna start seeing a lot of symbiote skins, because since he is the god of the symbiotes, it would make sense that we're gonna start getting a lot. Now, I don't remember if this was just a leak or what it was, or if they confirmed it at some point or whatever the case was. But people were talking about the fact that Jeff was supposed to be getting some type of Venom team up, and people have been talking about that a lot. I expected that to already be out, and if it is already out, let me know in the comments. I don't play Jeff, so I don't know, but I haven't heard anything about it, and I haven't heard anybody in regards to using it or anything. Nonetheless, though, it would make more sense for it to come out in season 3 if Knull is going to be the main villain, and then I would expect that we'd more than likely be getting some type of symbiote skin for Jeff. The other thing that I think would be a really big deal that would get a lot of people back is one of the main skins that I've heard being talked about pretty much since the game released was Spider-Man getting his symbiote suit. This is actually a mod and everything that already exists for the game. It's like one of the first mods that people made for the game that I've seen people wearing for a long time now. So it would make sense to me that they would go ahead and just release that. I can't imagine a world where we have Knull as the main villain and we don't get a symbiote suit. That would just seem very weird to me, and a missed opportunity from the developers, unless there's some type of legal reasons or something that they're not allowed to release it. And I know that people say, oh, well, they this game is licensed by the Marvel IP and stuff. But what people don't know is that behind the scenes, there are a lot of things that go on legally with licensing and stuff, simply because there's certain characters that are made by certain artists, etc. I actually had someone that does stuff that's similar to that go into the comment section and kind of break that down on a previous video where I kind of asked why they aren't just, popping out skins left and right. And I think that's a big reason why they did a lot of the Peach Momoko skins, because it was just easier to licensing wise get an artist to actually make fresh and new skins for the game. Not saying that they can't get a lot of skins from the comics, but there's probably more red tape that goes on behind the scenes than we're obviously made aware of. But like I said, I think that a lot of people would really enjoy getting that skin. I know me personally, I would buy that day one immediately as somebody who loves to play Spider-Man, Lord Spider-Man in the game. And I know a lot of you have your feelings about Spider-Man, but you have to understand that he is a big appeal and draw for fans to come to the game. I know that so many people have been pulled off the map and been webbed up so many times that they've kind of had their fill of it. But you have to think about it. Spider-Man has kind of carried Marvel on his back along with a handful of other characters for decades now. So it just is what it is at this point. We just have to accept it. Next thing that I want to talk about is in one of the lore entries, they did talk about a red man coming to the game. Now, what I think is interesting about that is that a lot of people are talking about it could be either be Deadpool or Daredevil, which I don't doubt, and I would really like that. But I did notice the other day that the Red Hood was actually like the villain for the new Ironheart show that's coming out. So maybe it could be him as well. I don't know. And I do think that's kind of coincidental. But at the same time, though, I really feel like Deadpool or Daredevil should probably come first. I would actually really enjoy having either one of them, preferably Daredevil, just because he's one of my favorite superheroes of all time. But Deadpool is actually a pretty close second in regards to that. So, I mean, he's more of an anti-hero. But you get what I mean, though. Nonetheless, though, last thing that I wanted to add is that the only other skins that I know of that we're getting are going to be the Moon Knight skin that I talked about, the Phoenix Agent of Chaos one. They have the Iron Fist bundle that's coming out. And I think the last one will be the Thor Hellfire Gala skin that was teased like all the way back when the season first came out. That's actually from the comics. Now, as far as any other Hellfire Gala skins that should be coming out, those are probably not going to come out until next year. Like they'll probably make this like a yearly thing. I was actually hoping for that one for Magic, the one that a lot of people were hoping for, and Storms. But like I said, they're probably trying not to release every single one in the first time around, so that next year they have some more to release as well, which I guess kind of makes sense. But in my opinion, that kind of sucks because there was a lot that I was looking forward to that we didn't get this time around. So, but it's neither here nor there. But with the new season starting July 11th, we're not too far out from the point where we're actually going to start getting like that official dev talk where we're going to know exactly what's happening. They usually do those about 2 weeks before, or maybe 3 weeks before, and then we kind of start to see a week before or a week and a half before. That's when the content creators will usually get early access to all that kind of stuff, and we'll actually get to see whatever characters being released, the new map and gameplay and all that kind of stuff. So we're not too far out from knowing exactly what's going to happen. But let me know in the comments, though, if I missed anything, if there's anything that you all are really interested in, what you'd like to see. Apparently the devs at some point, I maybe on a Discord or somewhere, I don't know exactly where it was, but I did see where they had done some kind of poll where they were asking people who they thought they, wanted to come to the game. And I think Deadpool and Jean Grey were probably like the highest on the list and stuff like that. Because like I said, it's a popularity contest at this point. Yeah, there's a lot of more obscure characters and stuff that people don't know about. When you're talking about getting more players into the game and bringing back old players and stuff, you're going to want to go with the people that people know the most and can get the most excited for, and that generates the most amount of buzz. But let me know in the comments, though, what you all think, who you're most excited to see, who you would prefer to have in the game. I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing your opinions and your thoughts on things. And if there's anything that I got wrong, just let me know in the comments. As we get more information, I'll definitely have more videos up to let you all know what you can be expecting. But that's all I have for this video. So I'll have to catch you guys in the next one. It's Father Dark. I'm out.